Top 10 Manhwa to read. Welcome to our Top 10 Manhwa list. For those of you who don't know, manhwa is a Korean comic or graphic novel. They are usually serialized in online magazines but can also be found in print. Manhwa has become increasingly popular in recent years, thanks in the part to the rise of Korean pop culture. So why read manhwa? For starters, they offer a unique perspective on stories. Manhwa often deals with fantasy and historical themes, which can be quite captivating. Additionally, the artwork is often very beautiful and detailed. If you are new to manhwa or just looking for some good ones to read, then this list is for you. We have compiled 10 of the best manhwas out there so you can start your journey into this fascinating world. Starting off with our number 10, Life of a Magic Academy Maze. Life as a Magic Academy Maze. Graduate student Lee Han was born as the youngest son in another world's famous family of mages. He swore he would never go to another place with the word academy in it. However, the Magic Academy known as Indrogard completely ignored what he had promised himself. Being self-sufficient is a must. Monsters may appear and the professors are all the total nut jobs. This is the beginning of a pitiful academy life that you have never seen before. Will I be able to graduate safely? Is the only question. Number 9. Bizarre Restaurant. A goddess takes the main character to another fantasy setting. He spends 9 years there until finally defeating the demon lord and rescuing that world. He and his friend receive a wish from the goddess. Because the cuisine from this fantasy world is regarded as the worst in all worlds, the main character wishes to open a restaurant in the actual world where he may serve meals from it. He desires for others to experience the same level of suffering as he did. He gets his desire from the goddess, and after opening his restaurant, he begins to attract some unusual clients. This manhwa has a good balance of action resembling a hunter and cookery drama. This manhwa's artwork is quite good, and the panels transition well. The comedy in this manhwa is really excellent. Characters are well written and have some individuality. The main character has a respectable personality and is dominated right away. Some readers may find world building to be a little puzzling because some elements are not fully explained. Other than that, everyone should give this a try. Number 8. Taming Master. The manhwa was a good and enjoyable read, but the plot itself isn't that different to other gaming or action manhwas, which can make the story a bit predictable, and I would have preferred if we got to know about the characters in some more depth, especially the MC, since we haven't gotten much detail about his life outside the game. But other than these points, Taming Master is an amusing manhwa. The art is extremely good and the story itself is brilliant, despite the cliché plot. The first couple of chapters are fairly boring, though don't make that prevent you from reading onwards. I can't explain how action-packed and fascinating the story gets. The summons are really cool too. The summons are all unique and strong, which makes the manhwa more interesting. It is one of those manhwas that you should at least read a couple of chapters, and I promise that the manhwa isn't a complete flop. Number 7. Heavenly Demon Instructor. In a world where superpowered heroes fight extra-dimensional monsters, Yoon-soo is just a punny supporter without any powers. That is, until a godlike grandmaster named Chunma from the medieval past shows up out of nowhere and becomes Yoon-soo's teacher. Visible to no one else, Chunma secretly tutors Yoon-soo in the way of the fist. But when his new powers force him to join the battle against the monsters, Yoon-soo is thrust into the front seat of a wild adventure, with Chunma along for the ride. First of all, the story is unimaginably good. Not a new concept of course instructor, but well defined and but rather than MC and master. All the characters have nothing about them and none of them are unique and interesting. And most importantly, from chapter 10, MC also became aloof and boring with his idiotic master. Number 6. I reincarnated as a legendary surgeon. Dr. Han Jin-soo always tried to live a righteous life, but in return, he got fired, swindled by a conman, and killed by his own professor. Luckily, a mysterious being offers him a second chance at life because of all the good deeds he had performed. The only problem is, he comes back to life as Hua Tuo, the legendary Chinese physician in the turbulent period of the Eastern Han Dynasty. Will he be able to survive in this era of wars and heroes as a surgeon without so much as a scalpel? Really entertaining and must read for those who like Dr. Manga, and it's the story about a really nice guy whose girlfriend cheated on him and he got labeled as the bad guy and was finally killed off. I would have loved to see the revenge, but it reincarnated him to a different world where he is on his journey to become the world's best surgeon, and it's hella entertaining. Moving on to our number 5. I Used to Be a Boss. This manhwa has just been released and it's really good to read. Baphomet, boss of the Towers of Abyss, is reborn as a human after becoming envious of the hunters who are always trying to kill him. In his newfound form, Baphomet is free to seek new forms of entertainment in this outside world. I'm looking very forward to this first chapter and it really got me hooked. Hopefully, it won't turn out to be a disappointment, but yeah, I'm looking very forward to this. Recommended if you have nothing to read or just want something interesting. Number 4. Teenage Swordsman. A famed player of VR game Quest hero, Harong ends up being taken to another world by a mysterious black entity. No matter how much he tries, he can't log out, and he is even attacked. Not only can he feel pain, he meets the real Yuta and not the NPC Yuta. Can Harong complete the 7th quest and return home safely? Thus begins the tale of teenage swordsman Harong, who fell into an unfamiliar world. This is a new impressive manhwa where MC gets isekai in an RPG game. MC has no OP cheat skills, but still manages to overcome his enemies with his superior battle knowledge from his games. He's just following the main quest now. This is a beast of a VR MMO manhwa. The art has a kick to it. The action scenes are marvelous. The overall world building is also on point, and the story is a type of an adventure where the main character has to save the princess 7 times, then he can return back to his world. I highly recommended this one. Number 3. HECTOPASCAL. Park Han-jun, who had formerly been hailed as a legend, become angry because he now had nothing to lose. He receives a sizable amount of money to get revenge on the group that robbed him of everything. Eye for an eye is now the rule. He will hold them accountable for everything he's gone through. He will exact delicious revenge as his wrath flares up and makes them pay what's due. This is an example of bullying gone awry. The absolute badass is MC. It's good to see that he is likewise overpowered right away. Also beautifully written are the supporting cast members. The artwork is lovely and teeming with scenes of full-fledged hand-to-hand combat. Seeing the main character smack that bad people in the face always feels good. If you are looking for an action-packed bully-style manhwa, try this. Number 2. King of the OCTAGON. If you are a boxing fan, then it's really worth the read manhwa. Wee Sung, who was a promising sportsman with a natural sense of movement, quite exercising in high school due to an injury and lives a part-time life. In the meantime, he is invited to a match of MMA amateur Jung-won. He feels a strong thrill at the power of OCTAGON that he encounters for the very first time. 22-year-old Wee Sung Lee, who was busy running away after giving up on everything. The moment he climbs into the OCTAGON, a spectacular fight that no one expected begins. It's a really good manhwa with a nice story plot. Art is nice and the characters are really good. Overall, it's a really good manhwa to read out there. And finally, number 1. Reformation of the DEADBEAT Noble. This has to be one of the best manhwa made any comics. The goosebumps and the tension I felt were incredible. The first half of the first chapter is peak writing. You can hardly top that. But when it comes to the rest, well, let's say the author gave their all for the prelude. The story is okay, a bit slow for my taste. The MC is a DEADBEAT through and you can see it in his everyday expression. He is not strong or cool or charismatic. He is not smart, witty or anything like that. He is actually the most boring character without any personality trait or goals or desires. But I guess that's what makes him perfect for the role. So far so good. Although I do have some problems with some characters, but they are extremely minor to the point where I can basically ignore the problem I have, but this manhwa is so fun so far. I highly recommend this. Ladies and gentlemen, we conclude today's list with that. But before we leave, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. We really work hard to bring you guys quality content, so a little appreciation goes a long way. Thanks for watching and have a great day.